This episode of the Improvised Title Podcast has been sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the app through which this podcast is made. Anchor is a podcast app. You can use it to listen to podcasts and record them. It's been super helpful the whole time that I've been making this podcast, because I'm just a young kid. I don't know much about podcasts, but Anchor has helped me out. So the analytics have been super helpful. It tells you not only how many people are listening, but where they're listening from, what websites, Spotify, Apple, Anchor itself, and even what devices people are using to listen to it. It's very helpful. I would definitely recommend it to anyone trying to get started with this kind of content. And the best part is it's absolutely free. So you can get the app, Anchor, and you can go to the website as well. The app is just called Anchor, and then the website is anchor.fm. Once again, that's anchor.fm. It's completely free, and you can make money, and they'll put it on Spotify for you. They'll be the middleman for that. I haven't even heard of most of the websites where this podcast is, but apparently it's there. And apparently I'm being listened to in Japan. 11% of my listenership is from Japan. So, and I learned that through Anchor. So once again, the app Anchor, Anchor, or the website anchor.fm. Thank you so much, Anchor, for sponsoring this episode so I can talk about the things that I talked about. Thanks. Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to, heck! This is the Improvised Title Podcast with Truman Barnes. I have today with me special guest Thomas Stay. Introduce yourself, Thomas.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm known as the probably the sexiest man alive. Besides that, I sing. I like to think that I'm funny.
And that's him. And we also have special guest Shayden Manuel. Shayden,
Yes.
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Shayden Manuel. I'm 17 and a half. Actually, probably in like 3/4. And I'm new here to the show.
Yeah.
And
Long time listener, first time caller.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've been listening to this show ever since it's the very, very beginning. I would say I'm an original fan.
I would say so too.
And I'm actually excited.
Shayden Manuel. Where's class Shayden Manuel? Not here, Shayden Manuel.
Right now.
Hey, this is special guest Mike Stump. Say hi, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Say hi to the podcast listeners.
Hi, podcast listeners.
That's Mike Stump. He's kind of a patroller
I'm the dean of
of the
students.
school. He's the dean of the students, and he's also the baldest guy I know.
And the best looking.
Sure.
And the best beard.
Best bearded balded man I know.
I'd agree.
No, go ahead.
He is the best balded.
So if you didn't catch that, he just kicked Shayden out. So Shayden will not be a special guest on this
No,
podcast.
he will not.
But Thomas Stay's still here. Thomas Stay's still kicking it with me. We'll be
That's
talking.
absolutely correct.
Yeah, those of you who aren't aware, this podcast is all about shooting the breeze, shooting the fleas, and shooting my knees. My niece. My niece
Wait.
is, she was shot
Oh.
last night.
You have a niece?
Yeah. So anyway,
Wait, hold on.
let's talk about some news today.
Some news. I love some news.
so-
Actually, I hate this news.
The
Please
school is shutting down.
School is shutting down. This is.
This was recorded before the official before the vote happened, and before we're deciding before the board votes on whether we're shutting down tomorrow or at the end of the school year.
Or there's also a slim chance that it will shut down next school year.
Yeah, but I mean, come on.
But it's for sure getting shut down.
Yep. Yeah, pretty much for sure getting shut down.
I mean, they can technically vote not to do that, but
But the state doesn't want us to.
yeah, the state doesn't like us.
Very scary. Scary time to be an AISU student. So what have been your thoughts on this whole predicament?
To be honest, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel any motivation to do anything.
That's fair.
Like, I'm a senior, and now it won't matter what I do, because I can do whatever I want, and I will still not have a school to come back to
Fair.
at the end of the year.
Fair.
My reputation no longer matters.
Sure. So you're
I
going
could
to
go
take off your
rob
pants
a
and
bank.
go
Yeah, I
run
could.
throughout the school.
Right. All of a sudden, senior pranks feel like they should happen a lot more.
Because
Prom.
it's...
It'll be the last prom
Of
of the AISU.
of AISU.
And quite frankly, I think you should go.
I'm not going, but thank you for saying
you should,
that.
quite frankly, because it's going to be the last one. Besides that, the other thing that's been on my mind is, what is the robotics team going to do? Because the robotics team is technically not affiliated with AISU, but we use their spaces, and we would need to relocate.
Yeah.
The question is to where, and will we have the funds to do that?
And will Sir Burton still be able to lead it because he's
Right.
fired?
Or will he be, laid off, but
Yeah.
same thing.
Yeah. He is out of a job.
Right.
Through no fault of his own.
And will he turn over that paper the papers for the actual team to someone else? As well as, currently all the money that we use from it is routed through the school, and we kind of need to disconnect that from the school.
ASAP?
Yeah, ASAP, Rocky.
Yeah.
Because we have a couple $1,000s in there.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm also curious about the thousands of dollars that were earned in the Performing Arts Gala.
Right.
Because...
If we don't have a performing arts next year, what?
Because there isn't a school next year.
Yeah. Does it go
What's going to happen to that money?
Does it go to the teachers?
Does it go to the school?
Does it go to the school?
Does it go to me? Can I have it?
Thomas,
can I have it?
Yeah. You know that thing about ruining your reputation because it doesn't matter anymore?
Embezzling money.
Embezzling money.
Oh
I
man.
was gonna say bank heist, but
It's
embezzling.
close.
Yeah.
We'll embezzle the money.
Yeah, I'll embezzle it.
Yeah, that's why my grandpa got thrown in prison.
It's by mine. Mine actually. No, he did not.
But yeah, scary stuff. Great. I'm worried for a lot of juniors because this school has such a specific setup that it's not going to work with most people transferring.
Which is the argument of having to stay open one more year so that the juniors can have their final year at AISU.
Yeah.
And we fix the rest of the grade so that they can transfer to another school.
The problem with that would be we need the teachers to stay. We need the funding to stay open, which we do not have even a little.
Right. But we could. It might happen. It's a small chance, but it could happen.
Pretty much the only way that it can happen, to my understanding, is if some other charter school with a lot of money takes us under their wing and basically adds us to their charter.
Do you think Ames is... Oh, hey, Realms of Inquiry.
Oh my
we could
gosh,
get Realms
shut
of Inquiry to sponsor us.
That actually does lead us into our first sponsor for the podcast, Realms of Inquiry. Realms is a school, probably.
It's true.
So thanks so much to Realms for sponsoring. Hit them up on Twitter. Thank you so much. But anyway, I'm not worried about myself because big news. I just got all the stuff so that I can graduate this year.
Well, happy birthday.
Yeah, I just joined the graduating class of 2019.
Huh. Nice.
Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank
senior.
you. Those of you who are listening and not watching the filmed version, we just shook hands really cinematically. We both stood up and I took off my shirt and he shook my hand and I put my shirt back on. So, yeah, those of you who are listening and want to watch the film version, only costs $50, and you get to see me take off my shirt. So.
A must buy, if I have to be honest.
You're a spy? Is that what you
no,
just said?
It must. No, who told you?
You just said I'm a spy. For anyone who was wondering.
No, a must buy.
Oh, and you are a spy,
But
so you would know.
I'm not a. No, I'm not a.
Well, you're a.
I'm not a spy.
See, a lot of these jokes that I make don't make a lot of sense when it's transferred to a podcast because we just stared at each other and moved our heads around a bit after he said that he wasn't a spy and I said that he was.
Right.
And see, that's the joke, but I'm not sure if you got that. If you did get it, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter. Just say, hey, Truman, I got that joke. And let me say, it was pretty bad.
Oh, can we speak about realms of inquiry for a minute, though?
Sure. I know very little, and what I do know, I'm not allowed to say on a podcast.
I know quite a lot about it, and
Okay.
About half of it is things that I'm not allowed to say in a podcast.
Yep.
But...
9/11.
Oh,
We just
sorry.
hit the 9 minutes and 11 seconds mark on the podcast. Usually when it hits 9/11, I make a wish, and every single time that wish is that the Twin Towers never blew up.
Thanks, Truman.
Yeah, so I just made that wish.
Never forget.
Still hasn't come true.
They could come true. But Realms. Realms is a school that has been along which has been around for a lot longer than AISU has existed.
I don't know about a lot longer, but longer. Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's this great kid named Henry Ryker, which Truman knows, but none of you podcast dwellers know. Hey, you should have him on the show sometime.
Hey, podcast dwellers. Yeah, I should. Is he coming to the thing later?
Yeah.
All right, I can film
Should
record a little segment.
Perfect.
During the movie.
He actually used to be a part of Realms of Inquiry.
Okay.
Back when it was a elementary and middle school.
Gross.
Yeah. They've relocated it and changed their school at least 5 times.
Interesting.
Before they found residents at AISU, they were in a church building a few blocks away from here.
Okay.
And so Realms is not going to be affected by this at all. They'll be joining.
They'll just leave.
Yeah, they'll just leave and find another place like they always do.
In fact, they were kind of part of the reason why we are in so much trouble, because some of the deals that we've made with them are less than legal.
Really?
Yes. You know how all the international students are through them?
I did not.
Well, they are. And we budgeted to have all the money from the exchange students, but Realms took some of it because it makes sense. It's through them.
Yeah,
so,
and they have lots of things that it's expensive and it's all about
we don't
adventures.
have the licenses. We meaning AISU, not me personally. I personally have them. I could sponsor any international students I ever wanted. Any international students listening, and you want to return next year, even though this school is dying, hit me up on Twitter. I'll sponsor you.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, so we AISU doesn't have any of the right licenses and whatever to take on those international students, which is why we have to do it through Realms. Which sucks.
Does it?
Yeah, because then Realms gets most of the money.
Right.
And they don't give it to us.
Right.
We want it. So it's time to play a game.
I love games.
Called
Who's that?
Poker Player. I'll show you an image of a poker player. I actually left my computer in the class. Do you have your phone on you?
I have a computer.
Okay. I'll whip that open.
But I've also
You tell a little story to our listeners at home while I'm pulling up a picture of a poker player.
Well, once upon a time, I created Venus. It was a very hard thing to do. I first threw a bunch of rocks out into space, and they eventually all clumped together, and they got really, really hot. And
dude, that's creepy.
I'm talking about Venus.
What's your password?
Place. Oh, so
Don't tell it to me. Just plug it in.
Right. Okay.
I don't want to know
Sorry.
your personal information. Well, I kind of
mean,
want to know your personal information.
They might. Don't disregard that document. That's private.
Thanks. Shoot, dang it. Okay.
Question.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna have a quick question discussion with Thomas. Why does Yamaha make both musical instruments
And
motorcycles?
well, think about it this way. I know this, being the CEO of Yamaha, which I am no longer, but I was for a short period of time in the 30s.
Wait, hold on. Your 30s or
yeah,
the 30s?
The 1930s, which happened to be my 1930s.
What does that make you now?
2019 years old.
Oh.
Well, I'll be 2019 in October.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Think of how many motorcyclists you know. Right now, do it. Close your eyes. Think of all the motorcyclists you know.
All right.
Are any of them not musicians? He is closing his eyes. He's thinking, for those of you listening.
I think all of them are musicians.
All of them are musicians.
Yeah.
So we started out as a motorcyclist company. And now think of all the musicians you know.
Okay.
Are any of them not motorcyclists?
I mean, I guess I've never asked them.
Exactly. Every single person in the world is both a musician and a motorcyclist. So if you take into account that we started out as a motorcycle company and then we realized, wait a second, we're only serving everyone once when we could be serving everyone twice, which is why we started making musical instruments as well. And the rest, you might say, is history.
Did you know that Sir Burton plays the
instruments?
Yeah.
I did.
I meant the accordion. Yeah, that's what he plays. He plays the accordion, and he also rides a motorcycle. He can do both, which seems a little bit out of... Well, no, the accordion seems in character for him, and surprisingly, the motorcycle also seems in character for him. Sir Burton's just a really cool guy.
Yeah.
Are we guessing poker players yet?
Hang on, I'm pulling up the picture that I want. So let me just count out loud real here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Another question. Why does...
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay, for those of you who want to play at home, play along at home, go ahead and look up photos of the 21st person that appears when you search famous poker players. And
have safe search on?
I assume so. Do you have safe search on?
Yeah, I should.
Okay.
I'm only a safe person.
Yeah, you're not dangerous. So I'll go ahead and show you this photo.
No, I'm not dangerous.
And you tell me what you think his name is.
His name...
Describe him for the people listening at home who did not want to play along because they're party poopers.
Come on.
But still want to play along a little bit.
So it's this guy who has a long face. He's got some glasses on. He has a baseball cap on and has a black
jacket.
More like a blue jacket.
Black t-shirt, though. Black
t-shirt with some words on it, and then the hat is black and white.
What are the words? Oh, never mind. I can't read those either.
either.
Yeah, I can't read those.
And then his hands are on a pool table.
Because he's a poker player.
He's a poker player.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a card in his hand.
So based on this knowledge, what would you say his name is?
Based on this knowledge,
mm-hmm.
he has a baseball cap on.
Sure does.
Which is kind of giving me... He looks like... he's probably Joe Baseball.
Joe Baseball?
Joe Baseball.
Joe Baseball. Is that your final answer?
Yes, Joe Baseball.
Okay, that is incorrect. You have 2 more guesses.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
That is also not his name. Let's see is not his name. And you have 1 more guess. Make sure it's a good one. I hope that you feel like you could really ace this one. I hope you feel like you could really ace this one. Those are 2 big hints right there. He's deep in thought.
Attention teachers, please allow the girls' soccer team to go out to the atrium.
So
Teachers, please allow the girls' soccer team to go to the atrium.
do you need to go for that? Sorry. This shows how professional of a podcast we are. If anyone listening is part of the girls' soccer team, please head out to the atrium.
It's important.
Yeah.
You know what? He looks like Steve Jobs. He's this
You
guy.
think that he is Steve Jobs?
He is Steve Jobs.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final
Well,
answer.
his name is Phil Lack, idiot.
Phil Lack?
Phil Laak is his name. So I guess you lack the understanding that you need, Thomas.
Oh.
I'll put your computer away for you. I'm a good friend, idiot.
Stop messing with my emotions,
Cutie.
cutie.
Hey, are you ever gonna stop messing up? Babe? That's our segment of domestic abuse. Which leads us to our next sponsor.
Your mother and I are getting a divorce.
The
I
divorce
love you.
courts. The divorce courts of the state of Utah. Thomas, why don't you tell us what the divorce courts of state of Utah can do to our average listener?
All right.
For our average listener, not 2.
So the divorce courts of Utah as of right now, what they can do for you is they can get you to have a divorce. I tell you.
So if you're looking to get a divorce, Thomas is eating chips right now. So if you're married to Thomas, divorce him.
Hey,
He's just eating chips right now, y'all.
I'm not. I mean, you probably should divorce me.
If I had a nickel for every time
I got divorced? Or every time you... Wait.
every time I suggested to someone that they should get a divorce with Thomas, which is also every time that Thomas has gotten a divorce. Basically, every time that I've ruined a loving relationship, I would have 2 nickels.
Oh, I get it. It's because I've had 2 divorces.
Yeah, you get it. So I just realized there's something cool that you can do with this podcast app I'm using. You can make you can add a flag to certain parts of the recording if you want to edit something in or edit
Really?
something out. So I just put in a flag and I'll put in another one right now. So if you're like doing a movie podcast, by the way, check out moviepodcast.net for more movie podcasts.
That's my favorite website.
Yeah. Then you can go ahead and get a podcast. You can do a podcast. Check out Anchor though, the app Anchor. Gonna get sponsored by them soon as I set up a way to get money from them for being sponsored by them. So be on the lookout for me being a sellout.
Hey, I am already.
You all ready to go?
I'm all ready to go.
All ready to
Sure.
go?
Already.
Alrighty, let's go. Let's load up. Those of you who are just listening, not watching, we're standing up from the seats where we were sitting. Also, a little bit of podcast announcements. Before we go, I'm going to sit back down. A little bit of podcast announcements. Number 1, if you haven't noticed yet, our podcast does not have a theme song. So if any of you have any ideas, I know a couple people shouted it out at me really loudly. It was really rude, saying, hey, we want to give your podcast a soundtrack because it's bad, or because it... I don't know if that's what they said.
People always ask me, "Hey Truman," which is weird because my name's not Truman.
Uh-huh.
If you made a theme song for Truman's podcast,
Uh-huh.
what would that sound like?
And so you made it.
And so you made it.
Yeah, I'm asking, you don't have to make it, but if you have any ideas or suggestions of who, like if you want me to call up my boy Bob Dylan and be like, hey, my podcast needs a theme song, hit me up, homie. Remember you owe me from that one time when I bailed you out of prison. It was $6,000, buddy. This is big.
Hey, stop putting it inside of my life.
That's Bob Dylan.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
That was a different occasion.
Right.
But you're still correct. Yeah, let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at DoobiePrincess42. Don't follow me. Just find another way to contact me through Twitter. I will block anyone who follows me. It's an unfortunate process, but it's the rule I made.
I accept pigeons.
Yeah. Also, I realized just now that sometimes on this podcast, I don't have anything to talk about. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask the special guest or me, and just things you'd like us to discuss, feel free to tweet it at me at DoobiePrincess42, or walk up to me in the street and hand me a slip of paper that says, I'm going to tweet this to you, and then tweet it to me. Or you can call me. My number is 801-792-2943. Not going to repeat that. If you didn't hear it right, go ahead and rewind and check it again. But not going to repeat it. Sorry, John.
Thanks.
Yeah, so there's those podcast news. Also, one final piece of podcast news. You might notice that this one sounds a little different, or you might not. I haven't listened to it yet, but we're recording in a different room than we did last time.
This room is superior, actually.
Yeah, you feel that way?
It is. Actually.
Oh, okay.
No, I've measured it.
Okay. So if you notice a difference in sound quality, that's why. I don't know if it'll sound better or worse or louder or quieter. We're also sitting in different, spaces away from the phone. So
It is true.
Thomas, didn't you say you're going to bring a mic that I could record with?
Yes, that didn't happen.
Okay, that's fair.
Instead, the school shut down, so.
Oh, that's right.
The B movie was a mistake.
So like we said, we're going now. We're out and about.
Tis true.
This is turning into a
meet and greet.
This is going to be a little bit of a change in tone for this podcast. We're going to walk around and just interview people that we see on the street. Anyone who happens to be walking around right now. Hey, would you like to be a guest on our podcast?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Nate, I guess.
Yeah. Nate, what class are you in right now?
Right now I'm walking back to STEAM. So.
STEAM. Who do you have it with?
Hamlin.
Okay.
Hamlin.
Neat.
Hamlin.
Never met him.
Neither have I.
He's, I'm pretty sure he's new, so.
Okay. Do you mind if we walk with you?
Sure.
So, how have you been doing?
Fine, I guess.
Yeah? That's good. That's good. Did you have a good time in the bathroom, I guess?
Just like normal.
Normal? Okay, that's fair. That's understandable.
What's your favorite color?
Red.
Red is your favorite color. That's good to know. If I ever find myself buying you a scarf, I will make it a red scarf.
Well done.
Yeah. Where is Hamlin's class?
It's portable 4.
It's one of the portables?
Yeah.
Okay, so in the middle school?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for your time. You can go ahead and check out this podcast. It's on Spotify. It's on Anchor. It's called the Improvised Title Podcast with Truman Barnes. Thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on out. Have a nice day, sir. So, wow, it's super cool that we got our first guest.
Absolutely.
He was being a guest. A guest.
Right. That's guest number 3, 4, 5 now. 5 now.
Well,
He's guest number 5.
No, that's the wrong number.
No, well, you see, there was there was
Mike Stumpf.
there's Mike Stumpf, and
There
there
was
was
Shayden
Shayden.
Manuel. I forgot about those
Yeah,
guys.
so he's number 5.
I guess so. I guess technically so. I have no idea how good this is gonna sound because there's a lot of
Chatter,
other clitter clatter,
pitter, patter,
clutter.
dit. There's a lot of dit.
Yeah, din.
Din. I love Din. Hey, I know this song.
Me too. I'm deeply ashamed that I did. Those of you,
Wait, what?
Those of you who can't tell, Thomas, that's a bad idea. Those of you who are just listening, not watching, Thomas was gonna go talk to a teacher. She's not having a great day today.
Is she not?
No, because, you know,
That's a shame.
she's going to lose her job.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so that was a nice little excursion.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
That was definitely an excursion. I couldn't say anything else about it.
I think I caught hemorrhoids from that guy.
Again?
Yeah.
That's awkward.
Mm-hmm. So, Thomas, seen any good movies lately?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's cool. So what do you feel about the government?
The government.
Yes.
I think that taxation is not theft, but more like tax fraud.
Tax fraud.
Taxation is tax fraud.
Taxation
yeah.
is tax fraud because they're supposed to pay you
'Cause-
so that you can pay them,
Yeah.
but you never did. They never paid you so that you can pay them.
That's what's going on right now, actually.
So they can never pay. They've never paid you to buy things for them,
Right.
and so you're being mad at them for not doing that.
Yes, taxation is tax fraud. The government is fraudulent on their taxes to me.
Okay, they've never taxed you properly.
No, they've never paid my taxes.
Oh, yeah. What jerks? Who's your least favorite president?
My least favorite president.
Sorry, second least.
Second least. Sorry, that was
That was almost
Yeah,
that was almost
you were-
a bad question.
almost a bad question.
We don't want to
right
ask
there.
that question.
Let's go with Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, really?
Yeah.
What did he do wrong?
He just was a bad president. Andrew Garfield, he was the one who was, or is that Herbert Hoover? The guy who was elected twice in 2 different terms. I think
A
that's
lot of
Garfield.
people were.
No, 2 different.
twice.
He was president. Then there was another president. Then he was.
Oh, and
reelected.
then he was president again.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
remember.
Garfield.
I don't
I think
remember
that was
who that was. You think it was Garfield?
And the reason why
I think
hate him so
Garfield was
much-
the one who had that little controversy because he kicked a dog over the side of the kitchen counter,
Shut up.
and then this friend of his was confused. He stole a cigar from one of his friends, a pipe. He stole a pipe from. Anyways, please continue.
Okay. The names are Cat Garfield. But
Was it after the president, or was the president after the cat?
wait.
Did they give him his last name because they read Garfield comics and they're like, oh, give this name to one of our children, but not their first name. No, their last name.
And that is how Andrew Garfield came to be. He was birthed from the comic. But besides that, what he did wrong was he was right before Teddy Roosevelt, which made him a bad president.
Okay, just in comparison,
Well, in
or because he
comparison,
set
and
the stage
also
for him.
because he didn't do much. No, he did a lot. He didn't do the right
Okay.
things.
Okay.
He was decent. I
Who's
guess.
your favorite president?
My favorite president, probably Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So you hate black people?
I do.
Okay.
Wait, no, I don't.
No?
I
Those of you listening on the podcast, this brings us to the next sponsor, which is in fact black people. Black people, thank you so much for sponsoring. We're really happy with your support. Shayden was here earlier. Sorry you missed him. He's not black though.
He is actually black.
He's black because in the gangs, like Reds versus Blacks, he's black, but he's a brown man.
What?
Shayden's not black. Did you think that Shayden was black?
Well, what is he?
He's half Guatemalan, half brown.
Yes, with the brown being
Black? No, there's a difference between black and brown, buddy.
I don't know.
There's also a difference between black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Oh, yellow,
Anyways,
black. Let's shake things up a little.
That concludes this segment, which we like to
Right.
call Thomas Stay is being racist. So Thomas, have you read any good books lately?
Yeah, I actually read one book, and that's
Okay.
weird because I've not read in like a long time. I read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
Cursed.
I've heard it both ways.
Cursed child is the correct term. How'd
I read that,
you like it?
and in recent memory, it is the best and also the worst.
Of all Harry Potter?
No, in recent memory, it's the best book and
Oh.
the worst book that I've read.
How is it both?
Because it's the only book in recent
Okay.
that I've read recently.
But how did you like it? How?
It was decent.
Yeah.
It was definitely. It felt both like I felt like Harry Potter and not, if that makes any sense.
I felt like it did not feel like Harry Potter.
Really?
The only parts that felt like Harry Potter to me were honestly the parts with Harry Potter in them. And some of the parts with Albus, Scorpius, whatever his name was. And
I don't know, Scorpion King.
and the lady just walking around talking.
Those
Those parts felt like Harry Potter.
Delphi?
Delphi.
Wolf.
So I saw that picture of Nikola Tesla and I thought it was someone standing in the window watching me sitting here with my butt sticking out.
I really.
So it's quick spoiler alert. Skip to 40 minutes if you don't want any of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child spoiled for you, which I'm assuming you don't. It's a good read. And there are a lot of things to
I thought
be
you didn't
spoiled.
like it.
No, I liked it all right. I liked it all right. It's definitely a good read.
Okay.
It's enjoyable to read, but when
Yeah,
you
I
think of
enjoyed
it,
reading it.
in the Harry Potter story, it's
It's a play.
Yeah.
That's what it is. But there was a lot of gay subtext in it.
okay,
No, there was.
interesting.
And I thought that was really weird because at the end of the day, they were like, we're friends.
Yeah,
In fact, I just asked out a girl.
yeah.
And I was like, why? What was the point?
I didn't see any gay subtext.
Really?
Then again,
I felt like they were hinting to maybe
Here-
it's because of the recent J.K. Rowling
gay.
She decides the gay.
She decides the gay.
Like, in fact, I don't think I've heard anything about LGBT
she
rights
enters
before
the
she
fray
was born.
to become the gay.
But it was just really interesting.
Yeah.
Like they would do things that felt like this is really gay.
Gay.
Why did you decide to do this?
I haven't read it in like a month, so this is it's a little off. More than a month, like 6 months at least.
Like there was a few times hugging, and like they thought it was weird that they were hugging each other, and I was like, "You're trying to hint towards something later," and then they didn't. Also, in the middle of Armageddon,
Okay.
the one says to the other that there's no person that they would rather be with than
That person.
that person,
Than
than
the-
the best
yeah.
friend,
Albus.
to see the end of the world with. And if the other guy responds with, "What?"
That's gay.
No, he responds with, really, I'd probably want to spend it with the most powerful wizard of all time to try and fix things. And it was, and there was a lot of things like that just constantly went on, but like at the end, they didn't do anything with it.
I didn't see any gay, but I read it like 6 months ago in the last part.
I might just be tainted.
Yeah, but also I'm not very good at reading into the gay. I don't remember what it was.
Percy Jackson?
No. Well, I mean, a little bit.
I felt that one was kind of just thrown together.
Yeah, Nico.
The
Nico one I liked. The Nico one,
I
I thought it was well written and well put out. It didn't seem like he had it in mind since the first time that he introduced Nico, but I thought that it was still well done anyway.
I'd agree.
But then in some of the sequel series, I thought it was dumb and forced.
Okay, I've not read anything. Well, no, I read Trials of Apollo and the first Carlos Magnus Carlson. No, Magnus Chase. I've read
Carlton Magnan. Carlton Magnum. Stripper name.
I've only read the first two books I've only read the first book of both of those.
Yeah,
so I've not really looked.
Well, but the first book is what has the gender fluid, I think, is where it introduces that gender fluid character. And that feels so forced.
Which book?
The first Magnus Chase.
Okay.
It is the Magnus Chase, right? I don't know. I haven't read them in like years, but a year, probably 2. I don't know, something like that. But it just feels like Rick Riordan is like, oh, because I made Nico gay, everyone's like, this is the most progressive author right now. I guess I gotta make everyone gay. Or like include all types of gay. So there's someone who's bisexual, there's someone who's gender fluid, there's a Muslim, I mean, that's alright. That one feels well written. It feels well written, and like the arranged marriage stuff makes for a nice plot device. But the gender fluid, like he like describes what gender fluidity is for like a page. A page and a half. It's just like, see, and it's okay when someone feels this way because, and it really takes you out of the story.
I don't remember that. It might be in a book that I
might have
been a later book that I didn't read, as I just read the first book of both of those series.
But yeah, it
and
irritated
speaking
me.
of Rick Riordan, I stopped. So I read both of the first books, and I was like, both of these are garbage. Why am I reading this? And then I stopped reading his books.
I felt like it was still well written, except for the forced, this is my agenda now kind of a stuff.
I felt like it was well written, but it felt like just Percy Jackson, like it just felt more of the same.
Yeah.
As if he's
every single one of his
protagonists, watered down.
All of his protagonists read the same.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
And I thought it was really weird that they decided to take Apollo and make him
a kid,
an immortal kid, and act like he's a kid and not a god.
Yeah. It is definitely
like
an
really
interesting way to do it. But the way that he wrote the books, the originals, some of the gods acted like gods, and some of them acted like kids anyway.
That's true. I didn't get that vibe from Apollo, though. I always got it like the cool uncle that everyone has.
Sure. But yeah, all of his protagonists read the same. And have you noticed he's doing that thing now that authors like James Patterson and people do when they get super famous? They only stick their name on books because they're famous, and another author writes it entirely.
Oh, yeah, I've heard a little bit of that.
Yeah. One of his latest books is because people associate, this is some kind of mythology turned into a young adult teen novel.
Orson Scott Card has been doing that with a few of his prequel Endgame series.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Like it's apparently co-written, but it's mostly the other guy's idea that Orson Scott Card is helping him write and it's come to fruition.
Okay, but is it like labeled as co-written?
It's labeled. It has both of their names on it, like in big text, and as well, like same big text as the title.
Okay, that's good. I mean, it's never a good sign when the name of the author is bigger than the name of the title.
Right.
That sends off real big flags to me, big red flags, like a communist flag on someone's wall.
Oh, I was gonna say like Ayn Rand. Ayn
Rand.
Rand.
But anyways, that does lead us into our our penultimate, second to last sponsor of the episode, which is communism. Communism is I'm sure you've heard of them before. Great sponsor of podcasts. It seems like most people in entertainment know about them and agree with them.
I know I have.
Okay, but they're all about sharing. In theory. So please check out check out Communism. Shoot them a tweet or two. So now let's go back to talking about how authors' egos get bigger than their talent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we could talk about that.
Yeah.
You know VeggieTales?
Boy, oh boy, do I know VeggieTales.
Same here.
Yeah.
They actually released a trailer earlier this week for a new VeggieTales show that is taking them back to their roots.
Okay.
But it's all going to take place on a stage instead of a kitchen sink.
Okay.
Which sounds really interesting.
And it's VeggieTales.
It's VeggieTales. It has the same animation style as the original, not the
Okay.
Netflix adaptation.
Voice actors?
The same voice actors.
Okay.
Probably. Is the same voice actors for Larry and Bob, I know for sure. They might.
And
I think they're adding a couple new characters though.
Those for Larry and Bob did most of them. So
Right.
yeah. I'll for the visual version of this podcast, I'll go ahead and throw on a clip of the trailer so that you guys know what we're talking about.
I already have.
When I edit it, but yeah. So they're on a stage.
Yeah. That's
Funky.
about as much as they revealed in the trailer.
Yeah.
Speaking of trailers, have you seen that new Sonic trailer?
I have seen that new Sonic trailer. I love Ben Schwartz, no matter what anyone says.
I love when they create a child and then try to make it into a hedgehog.
You think that they made that child and then genetically modified him?
Like CGI.
became-
You're making a CGI child and then go like, hey, wait, this could be a hedgehog. And then they do it.
Hey, wait a second.
then-
We're not making a movie about a kid. We're making a movie about Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, but it seriously looks
What
like...
are we doing?
It seriously looks like they first tried to make a kid, and then they stuck spikes on it and called it a hedgehog.
Interesting.
Uh,
Now, the title for this movie was originally Sonic the Blue Hedgehog, but then they realized that they didn't really have to make that distinction. And I'm glad they made that change. How do you feel about that?
I feel giddy,
Okay.
to be quite honest.
Giddy about the change from Sonic the Blue Hedgehog to Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yes.
Um,
Looks like a child. They turn into a hedgehog.
Interesting observation. I think if he was wearing gloves, I would like it better. And if his shoes were the same goofy.
Yeah, if he had shoes that aren't real shoes, it would be better.
Yeah, that are just goofy shoes. A lot of people don't like his eyes. I don't have a huge problem with it.
I don't really like his eyes either. Alita Battle Angel, those eyes were fine. But
They're
like this,
huge.
right? I think these are bigger than hers.
No.
Sonic the Hedgehogs.
Do you mean proportionally?
Yeah.
No. You're wrong. The original
Okay.
Sonic, yeah, his eyes are like freaking huge.
Well, the original Sonic has just one giant eye.
I mean, yeah, but it looks like two eyes.
You're right.
So, yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey looks like he'll do a good job as
Oh yeah.
Robotnik.
I'm really excited for Jim Carrey's Robotnik because that looks like it looks really, really good. And the concept for this new Dr. Eggman character also looks really good because it's not it's not because he's not a true villain in this. He's trying to protect society against Sonic the Hedgehog instead of Sonic the Hedgehog protecting society from Dr. Eggman. Because the government calls Dr. Eggman in to handle him.
You're right. Did you watch the trailer with audio yet?
I did.
Did you hear the words of dialogue that were spoken?
Yes.
The part that Sonic says?
You'll need to refresh me.
He says, apparently I'm here to save your world. Guys, this just in. We have a special guest star coming right on back in. It's Shayden Manuel.
Yeah,
Shayden.
I was detained momentarily, but now I'm back.
Yeah?
Momentarily as well.
Are you gonna get caught in trouble?
That's a good question. You see, you never know when Mike could be lurking around the corner. So,
I thought it was him.
I genuinely jumped at that. I actually jumped.
It was just Nikola Tesla again. From this angle, it's more like this angle.
He's looming.
It looks like he's just peeking in through the window.
Oh yeah. It looks like he's. Oh well, yeah.
It's
like
very
that.
it's very spooky. You got to get way down, but yeah.
Yeah, I kind of saw it.
So Shayden Manuel, how much time do you have with us in here today?
That's a good question. Probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay.
5 minutes is probably safe.
Okay. Anything you want to plug while you're in here?
Yeah. I mean, actually, it looks like everything's already plugged in. So.
Everything's plugged in to all the outlet. Yeah, all the outlets look pretty full. Oh, that one, that's a whole power cord.
Oh yeah.
You could probably plug something in if you have a cord.
Yeah.
I don't. Wait, hold on.
Actually, it's already plugged in over here.
It's already plugged in.
Yeah.
Shoot.
It was very deceiving because it was laying under that bag of chips. But...
Right?
It's okay. I got something to plug in for you.
Yeah. Okay.
Really?
He'll grab you something to plug in.
Thomas to the rescue.
Hey, do you want to plug?
Okay, here is me plugging in. Everybody quiet,
This
please.
is what Shayden is plugging.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know if you heard that, but that was Shayden's plug for this power strip. A couple things plugged into it.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for coming on the podcast, man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem.
So, anything you want to talk about while you're here? Seen any good movies lately?
I still have to go see Avengers Endgame. I'm seeing it tonight.
Hey,
I'm
seeing it tonight?
Yeah, I am.
Hey, so are we.
Which theater?
Both of you? Oh, Regal.
What?
What time?
I don't know.
What?
What time are you seeing it?
6:30.
Then we are seeing it at 6:30.
Whoa!
Wait, which Regal?
Except,
there's only one in Utah.
Okay, cool.
well, I'm going there on a date. So
with a
happy
girl?
birthday.
So, with all due respect, please do not come.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, you can come, just don't sit on the same side of the theater.
Yeah, or in the same theater.
Or in the same theater.
So,
That's actually
or
really
the
wacky.
same theater.
I got a free Endgame ticket from my work.
Oh.
I don't know if it's to Regal or to Megaplex or where. Probably Regal because I work right by there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's for a specific date
You
or
should
whatever.
probably check that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'll bring money to pay for it anyway.
Yeah. Cool. Good thinking.
Yeah. What
Okay,
can I say? I'm good at thinking.
Nice. Yeah.
I am too.
Oh, nice.
I'm
So anyone
not
who's
very
listening to
good
this
at
podcast, go to the Regal Cinema at 6:30 p.m. tonight. Go see Endgame. That brings us to our last sponsor for the night, Avengers Endgame.
I love those guys.
I would tell you more about it, but I don't want to spoil anything.
I've heard
It's
so
major
many people
spoilers.
die, like SpongeBob and Seinfeld.
Dude, do you want to
And-
shut up? I haven't seen it yet.
I thought you had seen it.
So who are you
Even though
going
you
on
told
a-
me a little bit ago you hadn't seen it.
Who are you going on a date with there?
That's a good question. I
Do you not
can't
know
tell
yet?
you. Yeah,
Oh.
no, I do. Yeah, I don't know actually. I was gonna go to the first girl that was
Figure out
just
when I get
there,
there.
and just yeah. So
just kind of wrap my arm around her arm.
yeah, and then just be like,
just
I'll pay
kinda
for
like
your
this.
tickets. You come with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you really expect me to have a date planned
What's your
beforehand?
name again?
No.
Did you? Yeah.
I don't know what a date is.
Oh.
It's a dried fruit, yeah?
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
He's actually
Yeah.
never.
I've never gone on a date.
We don't talk about the details.
What? This needs a whole episode to itself.
Yeah.
Actually, it does. Do you want to
Do you want a
Okay,
date?
so we're gonna cut. Wait, what?
Do you want a date?
Not right
oh,
now,
wow,
buddy.
not right
Listen,
now.
Oh
sorry,
my gosh.
no, not me.
I'm not
Whoa,
gay.
oh.
Don't. Trust me. I don't swing that way either. But I could for
which
you.
brings us to our actual final
oh,
sponsor. We are not sponsored by Avengers Endgame, but we are sponsored by. We've been working really hard for this
Chiquita?
sponsor. No, we've been working really hard for this sponsor.
Verizon.
We talked about them a lot last episode, but we're actually sponsored this time. It's gay people. So thank you so much for gay people near and far and
you, gay
tall and gay.
Yeah.
All gay people are tall.
Yeah.
I
even like the people. I even like the gay people who aren't gay.
Yeah.
I almost said
The ones
the
who are
gay people
straight.
who aren't people, but that wouldn't.
Well,
have made
no,
much
no
sense,
gay
would
people
it?
are people. They don't have human rights.
Yeah. Whoa.
Dial it back there, Truman.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, so we'll take this podcast off of your hands. You can walk out now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of the improvised title podcast with Truman Barnes.
It'll be the improvised title
Podcast with Truman Barnes, hosted by Thomas Day and Shayden Manuel.
Exactly.
Shayden Manuel and Thomas Day.
You can go over those.
I
you can
think
go over the
Thomas Day and
logistics later.
Shayden Manuel.
I
I think
Manuel.
Shayden Manuel and Thomas Day.
I think Manuel
Thomas-
sounds
Well,
a
you know
lot
what?
more
I think we should just put
professional.
Thomas Manuel and Shayden Stay.
Yeah. Whoa, Shayden Stay. Like Shayden Stay.
Shade
And stay.
Shayden
I'll
Shayden
lay
Stay. I wanna
the bay.
name my-
You're not even gay.
No, yeah. No, hey.
But it would be okay if you were.
gay.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. We'll just be the background singers. Gay. This is in no way demeaning to gay people. This is just saying.
In all songs, the background singers just go, gay.
Yeah. You know?
It's not. It's like it's an instrumental song.
Yeah, it's just
It's
like
just-
it's like a jazzy song. It's like dum, dum,
Da, da,
dum,
dee,
dum,
dee,
dum,
dee,
dum, 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 dum,
Gay.
dum, 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 dum. Oh no.
So we're gonna hit our maximum time for recording here in just a minute. So
I'm excited, actually.
Yeah, you're excited to hit the maximum
Wow.
time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a first for me.
Yeah. Also a second.
A second?
A second before we hit the maximum time is when I'm gonna stop it.
Oh.
And now I just made that promise, and I have to pay very close attention to how much space, how much
no.
time we use.
Yeah, exactly.
So Shayden, it's been a little over 5 minutes. Are you sure you're legally allowed to be here still?
Yeah. I think my house arrest will allow it. Probably.
By the
Okay.
way, thank you for sponsoring us this episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem.
He's not black.
I thought you just
told
said
you-
that
no.
he was black.
No.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
I said, sponsor for this episode, black people. Thank you so much. And actually, you just missed him. Shayden Manuel was here on the podcast. And he said, oh, yeah, because he's black. And I said, no, he's actually half brown, half Guatemalan.
Yeah,
and you're like, half brown? That means half black. Because Thomas here is a racist.
Wow. That's really. I actually think that's not bad. I don't think. It's not like you're calling me, like.
Less of a person
Yeah.
because you're...
Unless once I had somebody comment on, I commented on some picture, because somebody was being a jerk,
Oh.
and I was calling them out for it, but I wasn't even being that mean. I was just like, okay, don't be calling people out if you're gonna do this.
Uh-huh.
And they said, okay, black.
Well, it's
I was like,
how?
and I commented back, oh no, he got me, guys. I better delete my account.
freaking burned,
Oh,
as you
man.
can tell.
Yeah, as you can tell.
To a crisp.
I have been charred. Goodbye, everybody.
Charbroiled. It's like that time at was it Joe's farewell? When Roxy, when you went up, she said, "Look, Mama, brown."
Oh yeah, that was fun. Just a little child.
Going brown.
Yeah,
pointing
brown
at you.
and pointing at me.
Yeah. Do you have any other racist stories from you being racist or other people being
Wait,
racist?
you straightened your hair
Yeah,
the other day,
once-
and I made a comment about it. What was it?
Oh yeah.
You don't look like a black man.
No, it was like he was a black character. I don't remember what character it was.
I don't remember.
Do you have
I
a
don't
picture of you
remember.
with straight hair?
Oh,
that sounds
I think
really
I
weird.
think it was a black
can you
spider,
put-
black emo spider.
Can you put
The photo.
The photo as me with.
The photo for this episode. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I can do that. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of fancy, but I mean, just whatever you want.
Sorry, continue with your
Yeah,
racist
it's weird.
stories.
Oh yeah, I don't really have any racist stories. Honestly, to be honest, I really haven't been I've never been verbally harassed racially.
That's good. Physically?
Yeah, physically people were like
They threw me in prison one time. They beat me up.
Whoa, yep, that happened.
One time I got whipped.
One time this guy came out of nowhere and he was just like, "Hey, you." Whoosh. Yeah, but either that was a racial thing or that guy was just insane and whipping the nearest guy near him. But I
6
don't
seconds later, I saw him do it to a Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
And then he did it to himself and started to groan a little. So,
Yeah.
Not really sure what was going on there.
Me neither. Maybe that was just like, I don't know.
It's kink.
Yeah, it's king. Yeah, perhaps. Okay, wonderful way to end off. No.
Yeah, we got about a minute left.
Yeah, just about a minute.
Let's see. Should we talk about something really, really controversial?
Yeah.
And then just
well, actually,
have
here's
it
the thing.
end before.
Well, here's the interesting thing, you guys. Because I found out real quick, I'll tell a super short racist story. You guys know Charles?
Yeah, Charles.
Sala's
Perhaps.
boyfriend.
Black guy, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, probably.
Anyways, he was sitting on the train once, and it was like one of those with 4 seats, and there was a woman sitting in the corner, and he came and sat in the other corner, the opposite corner, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't sit with colored people," and then she got up and moved to the other side of the train, and then some other people went over there and was like, "Hey, that's really not okay that you said that and did that," and she was defending herself and everything, and then afterwards she, when it was her stop, she went back up and said, "Listen, it's no offense to you, I just don't like colored people," and then left the train.
What?
I know, super crazy, but
What?
I only have like the 6 seconds left. So,
What?
Anyways, I know what the true right religion is. Okay, guys, so sorry we were cut off in that last one. I was just telling them the true religion. Not sure if it got put in. Not sure if it got included in the episode, or not sure if we ran out of time. But
It was a really, really intense conversation.
yeah, well, it led to some great discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, not sure if it got recorded, and I really don't have the energy to check or do it again. So
We're gonna do the best.
let's give them a little sneak peek for the next episode. Thomas, what do you think they'll see in the next episode?
Next episode, you'll have a more definite answer on the ending of AISU. Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah,
We'll all have seen Endgame by then.
that's true.
Oh yeah, that's true. We could give everybody who listens to the podcast spoilers.
I know I will.
We'll do our official review.
Yeah.
Shayden, what do you think people will see in the next episode?
Let's see. I think that they'll probably hear a lot of words, perhaps sentences.
Words forming sentences?
Yes,
Okay.
perhaps.
Yeah,
Words
yeah.
in the sentences might be the slash the,
Okay.
or maybe a.
Yeah.
Some of those, those,
I understand.
those words. So that's what I think will probably be in the next episode.
I think that's likely. So now I'll answer what I think people will see in the next episode. It depends on what you're looking at while you listen to it, because unless you paid the $50 or $500, did I say $500? I haven't decided yet. The certain amount to get the a visual version as well as the audio version, then you'll only be listening to it. So whatever you're looking at while you happen to be listening, whether that's the inside of your eyelids, the outside of your eyelids, or any other part of your body, I think those are the only options.
Yeah.
That's what you'll see next time. So everyone, let's say goodbye in unison in 3 different languages.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Arrivederci.
Sayonara!